Welcome everyone, I'm Russell Alexander. Once again, I'd like to thank my daughter Sarah for helping us film today. We often cover family law matters and related topics from one of our office locations. However, in light of Ontario's state of emergency and the lockdown, I'm coming to you from my home office today. However, our team continues to serve clients virtually excuse me, to ensure the safety of our staff, clients, and the public. We encourage everyone to stay at home and follow COVID-19 safety protocols. You can visit the COVID-19 and Divorce Information Center to learn more about the steps we're taking at russellalexander.com. Without further ado, let's get into today's topic, Justice Perez's issues another sharp ruling amidst the current existential crisis. In the past, we've covered some uniquely phrased and incisive decisions of the Superior Court Justice, who currently presides over family law cases in the province. One of the more recent cases is called Diwali. As we have come to expect from this justice over the years, and his rulings are always focused, realistic, and leave no hold barred approach. This latest case is no exception. In this case, the father worked as an optometrist while the mother stayed home during the marriage to care for their two young children. Since separation, the father claimed that his income had drastically and indefinitely been reduced due to his need to shut down his practices in compliance with the government mandates around COVID-19. This in turn reduced his ability to pay the carrying costs of the former matrimonial home that the family once shared and where the mother still lived with the children. The father asked the court to order an order for forcing the immediate sale of that property, as well as a condo that the mother and him had purchased jointly as an investment. If you're enjoying this video and find it helpful, you can give us a thumbs up or leave a comment below. In the ruling, the justice began the judgment this way. COVID-19 has instantly made most of our he said, she said disputes sound pretty petty. We're still in the midst of an existential crisis, medically, economically, and socially. But rather than brace together against a common enemy, parents are pounding on the family court door, begging us to open up so they can get a few more kicks in, as if a judge has the power to wake anyone from this pandemic nightmare. Business as usual, gone. Nonsense as usual, here to stay. The judge cataloged the various pros and cons of each spouse's legal and factual positions in detail and took into account the reality of COVID-19 pandemic when weighed heavily in the balance. In doing so, the justice made the following observations. These temporary sale motions are never easy, and unfortunately COVID-19 has made just about everything in family court a whole lot harder. A, both parties complain of extreme financial hardship, and B, in other circumstances, the court might have been more receptive to allegations of hidden income, underemployment, or self-created financial strain. C, but COVID-19 has unexpectedly and unavoidably created a profound and indefinite financial crisis for this family. D, the pandemic particularly devastated the income capacity of the father, who's currently the only breadwinner for this family of four. E, the court accepted the father's evidence that as an optometrist, his two rented shopping mall locations were forced to shut down in March 2020, when the COVID-19 restrictions were rapidly imposed all levels of government by his governing professional body. The court accepted his evidence that while he has recently started to reopen his business, it will be a gradual process with restrictions as to the number of clients he can see. His future operation and income levels are uncertain. The mother has provided no reason to doubt the father's estimate that income for 2020 will be perhaps what it was in the previous years, around $66,000. F, the court understood that there is no trust between the parties, and the mother is quite correct to require additional and ongoing disclosure as to the father's current and continuously evolving finances. G, in pre-COVID-19 times, disclosure was our mantra, and judges were reluctant to impose any financial decision until every reasonable inquiry had been fully addressed. But H, the pandemic has created such an immediate financial crisis for so many individuals and businesses that it would be unrealistic and inhumane not to understand that people are really hurting and they need help now. K, COVID-19 has at least temporarily ruined the financial prospects of both these parties, and neither of them is to blame, which leads the court to most cases are ready to go, reality. Ultimately, the justice granted the father's request for an order directing the sale of the properties, but not before admonishing both parents in these very direct terms. One, the parties simply don't have enough money, and the family court can't print money for them. Two, at best of times, even when the father was working and the parties were together, the financial situation was barely sustainable. Three, now with less money divided between the two households, the only real mystery is why these parties are spending the few remaining dollars paying lawyers to debate the inevitable. The court accepted that each of the parties feels the other is acting unreasonably and in bad faith. The mother seeks to elevate her complaint by alleging that the father's misconduct rises to the level of malicious, vexatious, or oppressive, as discussed in the relevant case law. The court wasn't prepared to go that far. The court found that both of these parties were frightened, angry, and stubborn. That's not enough to either force a sale or block a sale. They are both acting strategically and aggressively, that they have lost sight of the harm they are doing to their children and to their bank accounts. And they definitely don't seem to understand that in this COVID-19 economy, financially wasteful litigation is an indulgence they can no longer afford. Please leave us your thoughts and questions in the comment box below. If you found this video helpful and interesting, please give us a thumbs up to let us know. You can subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get a notification every time we upload a new video. Thank you for watching.